So my research is on the human eye. So if you take this as a human eye, and works exactly like a camera. So if I see you what is there inside, so the back part of the eye is called retina, and the central part of the retina is called macula, which is the most sensitive part. So when I look at something detail, this part is actually responsible for that. So when you go to an optometrist for your eye checkup, we give spectacles or contact lenses to correct the point of focus exactly on that point. Okay. But there is something beyond that. We forgot about the periphery. So in our study, we examined the central, also in the periphery, because there are many researches which found the periphery is connected with central myopia or nearsightedness. Now I'll tell you very briefly what is myopia and what is a normal eye. So if light rays are coming from an image, is entering the eye, and it is focusing here in the central part, it's called normal eye. We can see everything very clear. If it is focusing a little behind the eye, it's called hypermetropia or farsightedness. If it is focusing in front of the center, it's called myopia or nearsightedness. So we are focused into this because evidence shows last 3 or 4 decades, the myopia is increasing worldwide in a drastic level, which is also happening here in Europe. So we tried to understand why this is happening, and we use the twin models to understand what is the impact of gene and what is the impact of environment. When I say environment, is the visual exposures, what they have from their childhood. For example, till what time they are reading, or up to what time they are going out and playing outdoors. So these are kind of visual exposures, which is called environment. So we tried to find out why someone is having low myopia or someone is having very high degree of myopia. Why this is because of mainly gene or mainly environment. So this was the goal of our research.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell us the results of your research?
Yes. So we were lucky to have the Murcia Twin Registry here in campus. So they provided us an enormous pool of subjects. We got 200 subjects or 100 twins. And we are also lucky that the lab has previously done a similar study on a middle-aged twins. So this study group, what we did research now, is a group born in 90s. And the previous study, which is done before, they born in 50s. So we have the same ethnic group, similar research done in 2 or 3 generations, so a gap of 40 years. So what we found is striking. We did not expect that. Because the previous study, we got only around 20% people had this nearsightedness or myopia, which has come to around 80% now in the university population. So this is a huge change, which we can see all over the world happening. And then we saw what we actually measured 70 degrees of the retina and tried to understand what is going on in different zones, not only in the central, also in the periphery, because scientists think the periphery is somehow driving the central part or the central part is driving the periphery. It's connected. So what we got is the middle-aged twins, they had most of the ocular optics genetically driven. So is the gene which is mostly producing myopia or normal eye is controlling that. But right now, in the present generation, the central part is mainly driving by environment. That means visual exposures or the way of living at present. But the peripheral part, it's still genetics. So this is the main result we found from our study.
Do you plan to keep studying this?
Yes, exactly. So there are 2 approaches what I'm going to do now. One is we are looking at the results more minutely now to understand what kind of exposures it is or how we can plan or we can give ideas to others to plan for myopia controls. And second is I'm moving to University of Rochester in New York very soon, and there I will study on school children for 5 years. So they are unique sample who can give us an idea what is going on when they start developing myopia. So we'll start from when they have a normal eye, they grow, and if at a certain point they are getting myopia, we can easily track what are the changes happening, and we can clearly identify where we need to pinpoint the myopia control studies, which will give us a nice idea how to plan for the future myopia research.
And just the last question, and do you think that you can plan any health program to prevent myopia, the increasing of myopia in population?
Yes, right now, sadly, we have this myopia. We know myopia from centuries, but sadly, till now, we do not know what are the exact pinpoint causes causing myopia. But we have 3 modalities treatment now. One is using specialty contact lenses, and second is using some drops, therapeutic medicines. Third is the most important, which relates to your question, is how we can prevent is environmental modification. So if you remember, in our study, we found environment or visual exposure or modern lifestyle is causing this issue. So if we can somehow balance our lifestyle, for example, we have to encourage our children go out and play in the outdoors, do not stay always inside. This is one of the examples. There are many more environmental modification possible. In this way, we can prevent the myopia.